just saw The Marvels.
Yes.
The highly anticipated sequel to several projects.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, and WandaVision.
Yeah.
All in one.
Yeah.
And I'll just say that kind of my overall thought real quick. This movie is fun.
Yeah.
This movie is super, super fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was great because of how fun and just a great time it was.
Mm-hmm. I agree. One of the things I liked the most about it was that it was an hour and 45 minutes. Guys, my bladder said thank you. I can't sit through another fucking 3-hour Marvel movie. I just can't do it. And it didn't need to be that long. So, I agree with you. It was very fun. All the switching when they use their power mechanics.
So cool.
It was so cool to see those sequences.
Especially the first. You and I talked about the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Time they were doing
it. Because it was just kind of very haphazard, and we're switching around to all these different scenes, and it must have been a lot of an acting challenge to I was just dropped in here, and now I need to figure out
I think about the choreography because
it had to be perfect. Yeah.
Also, shout out to the Khan family, who I'm going to be saying that this entire review. But they got in on the first action set piece.
They did. Good for them. The Khan family is, I think, one of my favorite MCU families. I think we said that when we talked about
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, yeah. They're so good, and they were still good.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like they were in it for, very much. They were in it a good amount, and they still managed to be, one of the best parts of the whole movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really fun. Listen, don't think of me any differently. I liked Captain Marvel, the first Captain Marvel.
Yeah, me too.
And you know what? I think a lot of people who said that they didn't at the time look back on it fondly now. Hey, maybe it wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't that bad. It was never that bad.
No.
Anyway, rewatch Captain Marvel. If you felt a certain way about it the first time, maybe your feelings have changed, but it was never that bad. I really like Carol as a character. Mm-hmm. I think she is so strong, right? That's her thing. She's almost too strong, almost overpowered. But I feel like in this movie we got more vulnerability. Mm-hmm. She was going through a lot in that first one. Didn't know who she was, didn't know how she got there. Yeah.
Right.
This one, it felt more
kind of dealing with her
trauma,
actions.
The trauma her actions caused to other people.
Right.
The one thing that I think we both agree on that we didn't enjoy about the Marvels was that it felt rushed at times because of that hour and 45 minute runtime. There were some moments that weren't as, I won't say fleshed out. I'll say explored.
Yeah, there's some things that just MCU wise that aren't explored as much. But for me, I'm okay with that. But I think what it was is just that some of the more emotional beats that could have really resonated were just rushed. Quick. They rushed through it a little bit. But you and I were talking about this. I think that might have been partially intentional because we think about it. We have this, most of our leads are women. Our directors are women. So I think that the idea was to make a fun movie, and I think that shows through. And I think, I don't know, maybe I'm as a cis het man and looking into this, am looking into this too much. But I think maybe because of that, because of all these women there, they don't want to have this movie of just women being emotional. And I'm not saying that.
I get what you mean.
Right.
But the thing that's frustrating, not to talk about the plight of being a woman for too long, but the thing that's frustrating is that you are damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Right.
They're either overly emotional, hysterical, or iron, cold, unfeeling, needs to smile more. It's really hard to balance that in a way that people won't complain about. People will always complain either way. So,
but just several parts that I thought I would have loved to have seen explored more is Kamala. There was that brief moment where Carol kind of yelled at her and was we have to save who we can save.
Yeah. And then the next scene she was sorry about that.
Right.
You're forgiven.
I would have liked to have seen Kamala really struggle with what it means to be a hero, because that's a lesson they learn time and time again.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can't save everyone.
Yeah. Or what does it mean to be a hero in a team? Because she was alone,
right,
for the most part. So this is all new for them in that regard.
So it would have been nice to have seen Kamala question her hero a little more.
Yeah.
You know, like, but also like the reuniting of
an aunt and her niece, basically.
So it would have been nice to explore that and like feel the gravity of that. Like I needed family and you weren't there. Like,
yeah, I agree. And then they were just like, anyway, back to this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I thought we were gonna get more of that. I've been waiting for years for that.
Right. So stuff like that. And again, that said, and again, maybe, you know, I acknowledge that I maybe looked into the other bit a little too much, but even with
it's if that's what you got out of it, then that's what you got of it. You don't need to apologize for that.
But I feel like even with all that, it didn't stop me from enjoying the movie. I still very much thought it was such a great time. I think the balance of comedy was used well. I don't think it was as overbearing or like in your face as I'm not saying it because I disliked it, but not as much as like Thor: Love and Thunder, which was like silly, you know, kind of in your face, little, maybe sometimes a little overbearing, depending on you know your tolerance for that. Yeah. Again, I enjoyed that movie as well, but I can definitely see why some of that stuff might not land as much. But I thought there was a good balance. Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, and Iman Vellani had a super fun dynamic together.
Which is, I mean, I would say lucky, but we got them in 3 different things. Right. Like, for them to come together and have that chemistry was good.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Tiana Paris was so good in WandaVision.
She was so good. She was good in this too. They were all
they were fantastic.
Yeah. It's just I wish they were so good. I wish I could see more of them. Maybe there's like a director's cut.
We had the 3-hour cut.
I want the 3-hour cut.
Speaking of standout performances, Iman Vellani. If y'all have been with us for a while, you know we love Miss Marvel. I thought she just gave such a standout performance in this movie because she already being so young, but also being an actual like comic book MCU just nerd through and through. She does this like bright-eyed thing for Kamala. She captures that really well. But she, for as young, I mean, she's like what, 20?
She's 21. She was born in 2002. Oh my God.
She has such great comedic timing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like that shit is hard.
Yeah. It wasn't 2 leads and their like co-star, you know what I mean? It was 3 leads.
Yeah.
Standing and playing off of each other equally well.
Right.
And I think that's really impressive to do at 21. Right. 21. That's crazy.
Yeah. And yeah, making your jump from a show to and that was like her first thing, right? Was Miss Marvel?
Was it?
I'm not sure. I don't quote me.
Let me look.
But yeah, I just think her comedic timing plus this, you know, just bright-eyed, you know, idealistic thing she has going on as Kamala just made for like a really fun but actually quite impressive performance from this young star.
Miss Marvel was her first.
So like, I mean, she is killing it, and she's so funny. I really would love to see her. I mean, I hope we see her as Kamala Khan for a long time.
It seems like we will with the post-credit or mid-credit scene that we got.
That wasn't the mid-credit scene. That was the end of the movie.
Oh.
Which we'll talk more about. But I would love to see her in just more things now because she's so funny.
She's so good. She's simply too good.
Speaking of, everyone in the Khan family, y'all, they were, like you were saying, they're not in it the most in the movie, obviously.
It's not about them.
They gave some of the funniest parts of the movie. Like, they delivered some of the funniest moments and also some of the most heartfelt moments of the movie. I will say, because her family was featured so much in the movie, I do feel like we had a little bit more time to let those heartfelt moments.
Yes.
I love her family. Her
I know.
parents, her dad.
All of them. Like, how do you even pick one? All of them.
Right.
Especially her brother.
Oh.
How tall is he?
I don't
Her
know.
tall, handsome brother with the beard. And the glasses.
He's pretty funny.
Stop. And he's funny?
Yeah.
Stop.
I didn't write this part down, but I did want to mention it. Y'all, for those of you who listen here, you guys all know I'm a musical theater guy. Went to school for it.
Right.
Do it, as a profession, among other things. Y'all, they have a moment in the movie where they go to this planet called Aldana, and their language is song. Mm-hmm. They had a musical sequence in this fucking movie.
That was one of the things where, like, right after I was like, people are going to have a problem with that. People are not going to like that. I didn't mind it. I think it's a cool concept to have a planet where their language is song. And again, I wish we had more time to explore that, because we got to see like a welcoming song, and we heard like they went into this big space with a lot of people in it, and where you'd hear like chatter murmurs. It was just a bunch of people singing over each other. That was really cool. There people alerting them to like incoming threats was a song. It was like a siren singing thing. Like, all of that's really, really cool. I think people are going to see it as goofy.
I again, for those of you who now know, I thought it was fucking hilarious. Their whole procession, after we find out that Captain Marvel is a princess.
I thought that was cool. That was cool. And I assume that's from some kind of comic run.
It's so funny to me. And we just had all these musical moments, and we got to hear Brie Larson sing in this a little bit.
Right. And
with her sexy new mans, apparently.
Oh. Who said that?
You said that.
I said that?
With your eyes.
I did say that. With my eyes and my heart in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Well, you saw him and you looked at me, so what did you expect to happen?
Because I knew.
You knew.
I fucking knew.
Anyway, sorry. But yeah, I think at the end I was like, well, we know that Brie Larson can sing. She's sung before, so like I guess it would be kind of a waste to not have her sing something at some point. But yeah, that was one thing where I'm like, ooh, people aren't gonna like that. Same with like the Cats moment.
The fucking Flurkins.
Yeah, we got two. Did some like musical theater nerd write this or some shit? Because did you write this?
I mean, this movie was. I think this is why I enjoyed it so much. I think this movie was made for me.
I agree.
Yeah. So first off, love Goose in this movie. Goose is super cute.
Love Goose in every movie.
Yeah, put Goose in more things. I particularly love the shot of Carol flying, and Goose is on her shoulder, and Goose is just enjoying the breeze.
Yeah, because he looked like Bustelo. This is where Bustelo's likeness came into play. Goose is it's like a Blue's Clues thing.
Yeah. So we find out in the movie there's all these little eggs laying around, and that's where we get all these little baby Flurkins. Mm-hmm. These little Fleur kitties. Mm-hmm. That's not being used. It's mine, Marvel.
TM, TM, TM.
TM, TM, TM. Pay me. Money now. Me needing money a lot now.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so... And yeah, so as they're trying to escape the exploding saber outpost, the idea is to have the Fleur kitties eat everyone.
That was another thing where I'm like, people aren't gonna like that.
And the fucking the song they use is Memories.
Touch me.
Memory from
so
from Cats. A little on the nose. But clearly we were like, okay, sure, I love this.
Yeah, that got partially spoiled for us by Eric Voss. Thank you, Eric Voss. Thank you for that. Thank you. But yeah, it was really funny. Listen, we went to a hockey game last night.
Or by the time over the weekend.
Sorry, we went to a hockey game over the weekend, and they have like a human man playing the organ. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, he's playing the hits, like sports stuff.
Yeah,
and then he played.
Lightning, let's go.
Yeah. And then he played Phantom of the Opera. We freaked out.
Yeah.
We looked around. Guys, oh my God, guys, who's cheering? Is no one else applauding? No one moved.
Just us.
No one moved but us.
Yeah.
We were ecstatic.
Yeah. Love
and
it.
I turned to my friend and I said, that was Phantom of the Opera. And she was just like, oh my God. Okay. Sorry.
But
so that's like the type of people who would enjoy this moment. That's us, yes.
Yeah, people with class, people with taste.
Class and taste.
I don't know if that can be used.
Phantom of the Opera, that's class and taste, baby.
Cats?
Oh. That's class and taste.
One of our cats perked up when we said that.
Cats?
He loves it. Oh.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He wants me to pet him so bad.
But yeah, those are two moments that I can see people maybe like they're gonna shit on it now.
Yeah.
But again, they're gonna look back in 2 years and be like,
remember when they did that?
It was actually kind of funny. They went for it. If fucking Deadpool did it, it'd be awesome, right?
What if Deadpool visits that?
He fucking might.
What happened to those people?
They got spit back out.
No, I meant the people on that singing planet. They okay?
I think.
I can't remember. All their water got taken.
I don't think all of it got taken.
They took all their water.
maybe they did. Well, again, that's a moment we don't really get. We don't
explore it very well. So,
but I do also want to shout out. I can't remember her name. Who plays the villain?
Zawe Ashton.
Okay.
Ashton.
She was great.
Yeah.
The villain, I mean, it's kind of a throwback to some of the early MCU villains, where like it's very clearly one and done.
One movie's villain, yeah.
And one thing I appreciate, especially with Loki being such like a big like a lot of implications for the MCU moving forward. This movie is kind of about these three Marvels, for the most part.
For the most part.
There is a lot of stuff.
Way more implications for the future than I thought that there would be.
But the focus.
But the story, is very much just them. But I wish we had gotten more with Zawe Ashton's character, whose name I forgot.
Darben. Because I think of Darman.
Darban.
Okay.
Like she briefly mentioned, like, this was the goal of my predecessor or whatever.
Right.
I was like, say his name. And like, how did you get here? We got a little bit of it in flashbacks, but like, I don't know. I would have liked to explore that a little bit more.
Right.
But with what she was given, she did super, super well with it. Because she wasn't really in it a whole lot for being like the big bad. I feel like she didn't have very much to like say.
Right.
It's also married to Tom Hiddleston. Talent plus talent. Their kid's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, I think the idea was to make her a little bit more of a sympathetic villain. Because her whole mission is to find finite resources. Like, hello, that's that's gonna be us soon. Unfortunately, truly
going to other planets, siphoning them. That's the American way. I can't think of anything more American. She's American.
But I thought that she did a solid job. I think the performance was really well done. Just one and done. I can't imagine we'll see her again. But I mean, there were some things. Let's start with the end of the movie. We do see Monica Rambeau. She did successfully close that incursion. So I forgot a little bit. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, another movie that's going to be more important down the line than people think.
Yeah.
The incursions are when the basically two universes are starting to interweave.
Yeah.
And so that's essentially what was happening. So she passed up this incursion.
Had to close it from the inside.
Yeah, so she
told them, this was something that annoyed me in the theater, because she was like, I'll go in and I'll close it from the inside. And they were like, okay. And I was like, close it from the inside? She'd be trapped on the other side. Right. And they didn't get it until further on. And I'm like, y'all aren't dumb. Like, I've seen proof of that.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of...
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway, so she closed it up successfully, she ends up in, I assume, a hospital.
Right. So, I skipped one, but it's okay. Let's talk about this one first. So she ends up, in which we learn in our post-credit scene, in some sort of medical facility next to Maria Rambeau. Mm-hmm. And
looking fine, looking
great,
the same as she did, as if she had not aged at all, as if she couldn't have a daughter in her 30s.
Right. And so we see this really great moment between them two. Again, Tiana Paris was acting.
That was, I think, again, we had mentioned like the emotional beats were what
just
weren't explored enough. That's one, like, there were a couple in the movie which if they had explored them thoroughly,
tears.
I would have been gone.
Right.
I would have cried. Monica waking up to see her mom by her bedside was so, because she sounded so happy.
Well, the inverse happened.
Mourning, like, oh, it was so beautifully performed.
Yeah.
And had the potential to fuck me up.
Right.
And then we needed to move on quickly.
Same thing with the Carol and Maria scene earlier in the movie. Had they made that
any longer,
right,
and I would have been gone. Yeah.
But then she's like, who are you? I don't know who you are. Why are you calling me mom?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, who do we see walk in the room? This big, burly, blue, furry son of a bitch.
Oh.
We see Beast from the X-Men.
Yeah.
Played by Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
That was such a cool introduction. And he's talking about the professor, and he calls Maria binary.
Mm-hmm.
Binary. Mm-hmm. And he also mentions like, well, you came from another dimension, which another universe parallel to ours,
mm-hmm.
which is impossible, but here you are.
Yeah.
Which again, I mean, at this time 2 years ago, the TVA would have popped in and went, boop.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But now she's stuck there.
Yeah.
So, a couple things that are cool there. I thought, well, first off, we see Maria in her
binary
suit, which is really cool. But also because Beast said a universe parallel, to me, we already have 2 confirmed mutants in the MCU
mm-hmm.
proper. Kamala Khan and Namor. Mm-hmm. Right? So, with Deadpool 3 coming out next year...
Does parallel mean mirrored?
Right.
Do we have the same, but different?
Right.
Along the universes?
So that's one thing. And also...
The implications!
Theoretically, we'd have to see Monica brought back to her own universe, her own timeline, right?
Somehow, at some point.
So, how the fuck are we going to do that? Again, very interesting. I'm sorry?
Agatha?
Oh, maybe whatever she's fucking up to.
Whatever the fuck she's up to. Whoever the hell she's dragging around.
Earlier in the movie, one of the big action set pieces is basically it has to do with all these scrolls being
mm-hmm.
moved, courtesy of... Moved again, courtesy of King Valkyrie, who does make an appearance in this movie.
We figured from the trailer.
Presumably to New Asgard.
On Earth.
The
sacred timeline Earth.
And for those of you who remember, there's already an influx of Skrulls living on Earth, as we learned if you were one of the 2 people that watched Secret Invasion.
We were the other 2. Also,
we're not even mentioning Secret Invasion that much here because this movie almost never acknowledges it.
Which is perfectly fine by me.
So, and they're on shaky grounds with Maria right now. I mean, mm-hmm. not Maria. Carol.
Right. Because they blame her for needing to be moved again. So, like, we didn't explore that. Was that purposeful? Right. That we didn't get, like, we forgive you, Captain Marvel, like, or is that going to come back to haunt us?
All that research of the Super Skrulls is still out there living with fucking Queen Elizabeth or whatever. Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
And Daenerys is out there somewhere being all fucked up.
True.
So, I can't remember her name.
Emilia Clarke.
Yes. Now I can't remember the character's name. Oh, well.
Gaia.
The mother Gaia. Yeah.
I was paying attention, I guess.
I don't remember anything from that show. And then, of course, the end of the movie, mm-hmm. before the credits even roll, we see Kamala Khan sort of, in her own way, recreate the first post-credit scenes of the MCU, which is Nick Fury talking to Tony Stark.
Recruiting.
Recruiting, yeah. Mm-hmm. So she's recruiting. And that's when we see Haley Steinfeld makes an appearance in this movie as what's her name? I love this character too.
Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop.
Oh, I thought you meant her her superhero name, and I was like, I don't think she has one yet.
No, she's Hawkeye.
She's Hawkeye. Yeah,
she's Hawkeye. Kate Bishop. So we see Kate Bishop.
And we see, more importantly,
Lucky the pizza dog.
Thank you.
Who does indeed get a slice of pizza in this. Love that for him. That dog is useless because he did not bark at Kamala. He did not care that Kamala Khan was there.
He's like, oh, hey.
And it seems like they're setting up a Young Avengers.
And I love that Kamala Khan is the one going around with her iPad that she stole from Nick Fury. No confirmation there. That she would be the one going and finding people. Right. I love that. For the character and for Iman Vellani. Yeah. I think that fits.
Yeah. So
again, the implications, guys, we're moving forward.
But overall, I really, really enjoyed the movie. I love that Samuel L. Jackson got to have some fun in this one.
Let Samuel L. Jackson just be a kid every once in a while in these fucking movies. He doesn't need to be going through fucking World War III. Yeah. He got to just be funny.
Yeah.
On a spaceship. Good for him.
But overall, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I know people are going to pretend they don't like it.
I don't think... I think
there might be some people who genuinely don't like it. That's fine, too.
Which is fine. I would say give it a chance. I definitely think it's more net positive than negative.
Yeah,
we're very positive people.
The only thing we really said about it negatively was that we didn't get more of it.
Yeah.
Like that was, I think this is one instance in which, again, I love that it was an hour and 45 minutes, but because of that, you know, you got to take the bad with the good, right? But it's really because we wanted to see more of these characters and what they were feeling and going through. That's the only, I think, the major negative. I thought for the most part the movie looked great.
I agree. There were some times where definitely I could tell like, oh, that's like a what do they call it? A digi-double? Like a digital double? Like I could tell you're switching places with people, you're gonna have to have something there. But because it's in action, it's milliseconds. It's not gonna pull you out of it a lot until you like VFX artists break it down and make it. But that's not how movies were intended to be watched. So I wouldn't take that fully. I think it looked pretty good. The action sequences I think are worth the cost of admission alone, just because they're really, really fun. It's a unique
concept
problem, to witness. And all the performances were really, really solid. So I say give it a watch. I will continue to ride for Carol Danvers.
Same.
Her movies are not bad.
No.
She just got the short end of the stick by being a lady.
Yeah, truly.
Unfortunately.